We who have been privileged to hear or attend the canonization of Mary MacKillop would have heard how her life really exemplified much of what you've just heard in the famous Sermon on the Mount. She was a woman who had great poverty of spirit in the sense that this world's goods didn't preoccupy herself. She was very open to the will of God, as she said, "The will of God is a book that I never stop reading." She was a person who lived by the gospel. She was a person who knew what it was to suffer unjustly, to be abused and persecuted, even by her own. Firstly, by the priests of her time, when she was excommunicated by the bishop. Secondly, in the early days of her congregation, when the nuns made it very difficult for her, some of them. And she never at once wrote any letter of recrimination or any hurtful word to anyone, the bishop, the priest, or the other sisters. She is a woman absolutely involved in sort of full of the Spirit of Christ, full of that tolerance, that openness to suffering, that readiness to forgive, that person who just moved forward always positively, never sat down and said, "Woe is me," never said, "Why do they do this and why do they do that? Why is my life so difficult?" She wasn't that type of person. She was a person of great heroism and courage and trust in God's providence. Therefore, she's a wonderful model for you and me who know what it is to have our disappointments and our failures and our sufferings. But Mary MacKillop was extraordinary, the way she had that vision of what she wanted to do for the church, and nothing let her deviate from that. And she was a person, therefore, who must have been a very attractive woman, attractive in the sense that people wanted to help her. First of all, Julian Tennyson Woods. Secondly, the girls that flocked to her congregation. Thirdly, the bishop, the cardinals here in Rome, who helped her to get her constitutions ordered and present them to the Pope. But above all, the friends she found in the Society of Jesus. And that's why we're in this church today, the Church of St. Ignatius, in front of St. Aloysius Gonzaga, who knew what it was to suffer, who was a person of complete self-abnegation, who was a person who spent long hours in the prayer, and finally who was a person who went out, as Mary MacKillop said, never see a need without doing something about it. And so when the Great Plague struck Rome, he saw the need, he went out from the seminary and he caught the plague, nursing so many dying people. And that's why he was carried off at the age of 24. So that's why it's very significant for you and me to be here in this wonderful Jesuit church, the Church of Father Hinterrocker, the Church of Father Topina, the Church of Father Palhuba, the Church of Father Andalidi, the Church of Father Lambert, all Jesuits who are significant in the life of Mary MacKillop and where in the church that they would have come to. So it's terribly significant to us, and I hope that the spirit in this little section is redolent of them, and it touches our hearts and raises us up and sort of strengthens our faith that flickers from time to time and gives us that strength and that courage to go ahead, to always work doing what we can, discharging our responsibilities as she did, being people of vision and foresight to move ahead. So it's a wonderful moment for us. It's a moment of gratitude, as I said earlier. It's a moment of Mary MacKillop's spirit to seep in upon us, just to seep into your being, to be part of your marrow, to be part of your subconscious, to be part of your inner self, because that's what God gave her to do for all of us. That's why we've made the journey, to sit there and listen to all the others outlined, and especially our own dear Mary MacKillop, all that she achieved and why she's been canonized. You and I won't have that great gift of canonization, but at least we'll have the gift of knowing that we fulfilled our purpose on this planet, that we've made the best of the time we've got, that we've been people that pray, people who can suffer quietly, people who can move with Christ. And that's what it's all about, till the moment we come to close our eyes in death. And he'll say, "Come, good and faithful servant, enter into the kingdom prepared for you by your goodness of life."